welcome to Art Chat. I'm Marge Lee, and things are flowering forth in Trivia Art Center. We're here today in the newest exhibition to open up, Flowering Forth, and we're chatting with two of our award winners. Let's start off by chatting with Augusta Crane. We are here with Augusta Crane, and Augusta, what a fabulous piece, and it won Best in Show.
Thank you so much. I feel really honored and humbled.
Well, it's a showstopper. Now, one thing that people often ask me is, how does she do a piece like this? So, first of all, the vase itself, do you hand shape that, or do you hand shape that?
I hand shape that around the columns, different size columns.
Okay.
And then I make flower petals.
Okay. And you shape those by hand, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And then first process is you color by, we call it glazing.
Okay.
And then you do initial firing, we call it low firing, and it goes up to about 1800 degrees.
So you're basically cooking it, okay.
Right,
Okay.
and then I glaze with the different colors and refire to a high fire about 2200 degrees.
So it's quite a process.
It is, and flower I hand paint, but the base I spray. And I have different layers of sprays, so it can.
Is that how you achieve the depth with the glaze?
Yes. And then the other thing, because each flower has different personalities, so you try to bring it out with different colors and different backgrounds. So.
And these are poppies?
Yes.
And poppies in the breeze, in the wind?
Right, and see, I do various flowers, and
you're very much into organic.
Right.
Organic energy, I guess one would say.
And poppy has more like a dazzling and vibrant personality, and it can grow in wilderness, and it gives more
more strong presence, maybe.
Right.
Now, am I seeing, is the glaze inside the vase a slightly different color, or is that just a function of the lighting, the way the lighting is playing on it?
It is a little different color because I want to give more depth inside, so I usually use darker colors inside.
It's just really amazing. So there's also a very graceful leaf coming up from the bottom. So that's something that you're hand shaping as well?
Yes.
All right. And to me, that really adds a lot of energy and motion.
Thank you. See, I'm pretty much drawn to energy and the inner spirit side of each flower. And I use a lot, and usually the artist kind of feels same kind of a connection of the certain personality of the flowers, and we all have different characteristics inside of us. It rarely comes out a lot of times, and by making this flower, you kind of express your feelings of
that flower. Is the poppy your favorite flower?
I love all different kind of flowers. I make I love orchids and calla lilies, and poppy is another one of my favorites. Sometimes you have some dormant personality inside of you, and you have a hard time to express throughout your ordinary life. And I'm basically a very shy person. And apparently there's some
you express yourself through your pottery.
And sometimes the opposite attraction that you still have inside of you, but you cannot express. But the opposite characteristic I kind of admire and aspire, so they can come out by expressing through my artwork.
So a shy person expressing a very bold
Daring
artistic statement.
And the other thing, poppies grow sometimes in wilderness, so it has a very strong, resilient personality. It weathers, goes through like harsh weather, and so that part, it attracts me a lot. So.
Drawing on that to express that. I'm also drawn to the detail, and I want to invite all of our viewers, when they look at this work, to really focus on the detail that you've managed to capture in these. It's really, really exquisite. So thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
Congratulations on winning Best in Show. You are a real master with flowers. And now we're going to chat with one other award winner who's also a master of flowers. Let's bring in Carol Mann. Carol Mann, congratulations. You won Best Use of Theme for this fabulous quilt. Tell us a little bit about it, and start with the fabric that's showing all the wonderful flowers. I know it's by one of your favorite designers.
It definitely is. I enjoy using Kay Fassett's fabric so much. We took a trip, Bob and I took a car trip, East Coast, West Coast of Florida, mostly south of Orlando. And on the 3-day trip, high on the list, we're stopping at quilt stores that carried his fabrics. I learned a very interesting thing. On A1A in Fort Lauderdale, there's a wonderful quilt store. She buys everything that every new product that he produces, she buys. And she was the person who started Three Crafty Ladies, she and her friends, on Sanibel.
On Sanibel, I've seen that store, okay.
It's not in the same place where she started it, and she did relinquish and sold her part, but she keeps her home in Sanibel, but she has this wonderful store in Lauderdale. Anyway, when Sparkle was announced, I knew I loved flowers. I knew I wanted to make a quilt, and I thought of the dewdrops that are in the morning on the roses, and I thought, well, that would be maybe the sparkle it would need. So actually, Bob and I went maybe a few years ago up to north of Tampa to the Happy Apple Quilt Store because they had invited Kay Fassett to come and give classes, and I wanted to get in on it. Well, I didn't get in on it because I wasn't fast enough, but he did give a lecture the Friday before, and we had tickets for that, so we came in and we looked at his wonderful things, and he gave a show, and he had patterns, and I thought, well, I want a pattern that's going to really feature his fabric. So I bought this, and I bought fabric at that wonderful shop up there, and off we went. But when I took out the pattern, everything was in, I think, 3-inch squares.
The actual pattern.
The actual pattern, including the part that I wanted to keep whole to feature his flowers.
So you would have lost seeing the big flower.
Exactly.
So you altered the pattern.
Well, at first I gave up on the pattern, and then I thought, I do want that pattern, and I'll alter it. I could fussy cut these and get them together. These are 2 squares, but with his, no. So I went ahead and made the quilt, putting Pellon in place of the squares, and eventually I put the squares on, including a little bit of trim, piping, and I ended up appliquing them.
Applique. Tell people what that means.
Applique is you have your piece, you have your seams turned under, and you start sewing in itty-bitty stitches so no one can tell that it's applique. And that's how I finished it. And then, of course, sequins came into
so we have
play
sequins
for the dewdrops.
And polka dots and drops and all sorts of interesting things going on here.
Thank you.
But there's even more interest in this quilt. So we don't want people touching this quilt in the exhibition because there can be soil or oil on hands. But through this TV show, we're going to give you a peek at what the back of this quilt looks like. So stay with us. We're going to take a look at that right now. So here we are. This is the back of your fabulous quilt. And I think the back is equally as beautiful as the front. And also you have signed in thread, you have signed your quilt with some extra sparkles. Mm-hmm. Do you always finish the backs of your quilts so beautifully?
I like to, but often they are not for display, they're for use, and they go to the family and they're washed, etc., etc. So no, but these flowers were too pretty, and they are fussy cut, which means you trim real close around the edge, and
so you actually cut around the flower and stitch it down. And that's called
fussy cutting.
Fussy cutting. Well, it's absolutely a stunning work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
And we also want to give a shout out to the other award winners in this exhibition. They include Bart Sharp for his wonderful resin and wood bowl, Jean Becker, who made a bowl out of a gourd, and Karen Meredith and Pam Shaw, who gave us wonderful paintings of flowers. The exhibition again is Flowering Forth. It's here through mid-September. Be sure to come on in and take a look. It's very colorful. It's very fun. You're going to enjoy it in Trivia Art Center. We'll see you here again soon. Bye-bye.